Hello, this is R.J. Deacon, reading the Supreme Court of the United States opinion syllabus in American Hospital Association versus Becerra, Secretary of Health and Human Services. Certiorari at the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. Argued November 30th, 2021, and decided June 15th, 2022. If you'd like to support the podcast, find a PayPal link in the show notes. The Medicare statute lays out a formula that the Department of Health and Human Services must employ annually to set reimbursement rates for certain outpatient prescription drugs provided by hospitals to Medicare patients. That's 42 U.S.C. Section 1395 L T 14 Cap A III. That formula affords HHS two options. Option 1 applies if HHS has conducted survey of hospitals' acquisition costs for each covered outpatient drug. Under this option, the agency may set reimbursement rates based on the hospital's average acquisition cost for each drug and may vary the reimbursement rates by hospital group. There's a statute number there. Absent a survey, option 2 applies, and HHS must set reimbursement rates based on the average price charged by manufacturers for the drug as calculated and adjusted by the Secretary. Option 2 does not authorize HHS to vary reimbursement rates for different hospital groups. From the time these provisions took effect in 2006 until 2018, HHS did not conduct surveys of hospitals' acquisition costs, relied on Option 2, set the reimbursement rates at about 106%, and did not vary those rates by hospital group. For 2018, HHS again did not conduct a survey, but this time it issued a final rule establishing separate reimbursement rates for hospitals that serve low-income or rural populations through the 340B program and all other hospitals. For 2019, HHS set reimbursement rates the same way. The American Hospital Association and other interested parties challenged the 2018 and 2019 reimbursement rates in federal court. In response, HHS first contended that various statutory provisions precluded judicial review of those rates. The agency also argued that it could vary the reimbursement rates by hospital group under its Option 2 authority to adjust the price based on reimbursement rates. The district court rejected HHS's argument that the statute precluded judicial review, concluded that HHS had acted outside its statutory authority, and remanded the case to HHS to consider an appropriate remedy. The D.C. Circuit, however, reversed. The court ruled that the statute did not preclude judicial review and upheld HHS's reduced reimbursement rates for 340B hospitals. The Supreme Court held, decision is reversed and remanded, and Justice Kavanaugh delivered the opinion. The statute does not preclude judicial review of HHS's reimbursement rates. Judicial review of final agency action is traditionally unavailable unless a statute's language or structure precludes it. Mach Mining versus EEOC. And this court has long recognized a strong presumption in its favor. See Weyerhaeuser versus United States Fish and Wildlife. Here, no provision in the Medicare statute precludes judicial review of the 2018 and 2019 reimbursement rates. HHS cites two nearby provisions that preclude review of the general payment methodology that HHS employs to set rates for other Medicare outpatient services. But HHS sets rates for outpatient prescription drugs using a different payment methodology. HHS also argues that other statutory requirements would make allowing judicial review of the 2018 and 2019 reimbursement rates impractical. Regardless, such arguments cannot override the text of the statute and the traditional presumption in favor of judicial review of administrative action. Absent a survey of hospitals' acquisition costs, HHS may not vary the reimbursement rates only for 340B hospitals. HHS's 2018 and 2019 reimbursement rates for 340B hospitals were therefore unlawful. The text and structure of the statute make this a straightforward case. Because HHS did not conduct a survey of hospitals' acquisition costs, HHS acted unlawfully by reducing the reimbursement rates for 340B hospitals. HHS maintains that even when it does not conduct a survey, the agency still may adjust the average price as necessary. But HHS's power to increase or decrease the price is distinct from its power to set different rates for different groups of hospitals. Moreover, HHS's interpretation would make little sense given the statute's overall structure. Under HHS's interpretation, the agency would never need to conduct a survey of acquisition costs if it could proceed under Option 2, and then do everything under Option 2 that it could do under Option 1. That not only would render irrelevant the survey prerequisite for varying reimbursement rates by hospital group, but also would render largely irrelevant the provision of the statute that precisely details the requirements for surveys of hospitals' acquisition costs. Finally, HHS's argument that Congress could not have intended for the agency to overpay 340B hospitals for prescription drugs ignores the fact that Congress, when enacting the statute, was well aware that 340B hospitals paid less for covered prescription drugs. It may be that the reimbursement payments were intended to offset the considerable costs of providing health care to the uninsured and underinsured in low-income and rural communities. Regardless, this court is not the forum to resolve that policy debate. The decision below is reversed and remanded. Justice Kavanaugh delivered the opinion for a unanimous court. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the podcast, find me at roadsscholar80@gmail.com. That's ROADS, like the truck driving roads, and the number 80. Or you can find a PayPal link in the show.